Hi everyone, my name is Chirag and I welcome you all on the behalf of Pineapple Labs. In this solution video of assignment number 5, we are going to discuss about how can we complete the assignment number 5, which was a part of $100 giveaway, which is being hosted on the Telegram group of Pineapple Labs. So if you do want to participate in such giveaways, make sure you join the group by using the link given in the description. So let's get started and see what do we have in this particular assignment. Okay, so this is the assignment number 5, which says configure the topology given below to fulfill the requirements given in the task. We have a topology here with 3 routers and some networks connected to them. Then it says design the topology and configure IP addresses as shown in the topology. Then it asks you to configure DHCP, then configure OSPF, configure router IDs, then it asks you to restrict the communication of PC2 and PC0 with the network 192.168.1.0. So let's get started. Let's begin it with the task number 1. I have a similar type of topology ready with me here in the packet tracer. So let's begin and start assigning the IP addresses to the interfaces of the router. So I'll begin it from router number 1. I'll go to the CLI, say no, enable config t, hostname r1. Then on interface FA0/0, I'll assign the IP address 12.10.1.1 255.255.255.252 as the subnet mask given in the topology is /30. Then I'll say no shutdown. Then interface FA0/1 will have IP address as 13.10.1.1 255.255.255.252 and no shutdown. Then on interface FA1/0 we will have the IP address 192.168.1.1 and a /26 subnet that should be 255.255.255.192 and then no shutdown. I'll close this. I'll go to the router number 2 and we'll quickly assign the IP addresses to all the interfaces. Hostname R2, interface FA0/0, IP address 12.10.1.2 255.255.255.252, no shutdown. Interface FA0/1, IP address 23.10.1.1 255.255.255.252, no shutdown. Then interface FA1/0, IP address 192.168.2.1 255.255.255.192 and no shutdown. Then let's move to router number 3 and assign the IP addresses to the interfaces. I'll go to the router number 3 CLI, say no, enable config t, hostname R3, interface FA0/0, IP address 13.10.1.2 no shutdown. Then interface FA0/1 will have the IP address as 23.10.1.2. okay, so 23.10.1.2 255.255.255.252, no shutdown. Then interface FA1/0 will have the IP address as 192.168.3.1 then the subnet mask and say no shutdown. Now we are done with the assignment of IP addresses. Now the next thing which we have to do according to the assignment is configure DHCP on each router. So we'll begin the DHCP configuration now. I'll go to the router 1 again and we'll create a DHCP pool for the network 192.168.1.0. Take an exit, get back to the global configuration mode and then say IP DHCP pool A for the network 192.168.1.0, 255.255.255.192, and the gateway is going to be 192.168.1.1. Then I'll go to router number 2. IPDHCP pool A for the network 192.168.2.0 with a subnet mask, and the gateway address is going to be 192.168.2.1. Then on router number 3 also. And we are also done with the completion of task number 2. Let's see what do we have next. It asks you to configure OSPF and assign the interfaces to respective areas. On all the routers, configure the router ID as x.x.x.x, where x is the router number. So for example, R1 will have the router ID 1.1.1.1. So let's begin the OSPF configuration now. I'll go to router number 1 and we'll say router OSPF 10. The router ID as per the assignment of router number 1 should be 1.1.1.1 exit. Then I'll go to interface FA00. We'll say IP OSPF 10 area 0. Similarly, interface FA0/1 IP OSPF 10 area 0, but interface FA1/0 is going to be a part of area number 10. So I'll say IP OSPF 10 area 10 exit. We are done with the configs of OSPF on router number 1. Let's do the same on router number 2. Router OSPF 10 router ID 2.2.2.2, then interface FA0/0 IP OSPF 10 area 0, interface FA0/1 IP OSPF 10 area 0, then interface FA1/0 will have the IP OSPF 10, but area is going to be 20 exit. Then router 3, router OSPF 10, the router ID is going to be 3.3.3 exit, interface FA0/0 IP OSPF 10 area 0, interface FA0/1 IP OSPF 10 area 0, and interface FA1/0 is going to be a part of area 30. There you go, exit. Now once we are done configuring the OSPF, our devices should be able to communicate with each other. So let's first of all assign the IP address to these PCs, and then we will check if they are able to communicate with each other using OSPF configs. So DHCP is working fine. My devices are getting the IP address from the server. I'll just quickly assign the IP address to all the PCs here. Perfect. Now if I go to router 3 and just run the command show IP route to check the routing table. So I have the OSPF routes inside the routing table, and if I try making the communication here from this PC, let's say if I say ping 192.168.1.2, let's see if we get the reply or not. Perfect. So we are getting the reply. That means the communication is there. Similarly, if I try to ping 2.2, let's see if we get the reply or not. There you go. So basically the devices are able to communicate. So we are successfully done with the task number 3 also. You can check the connectivity between the devices using some other combination also. Then let's see what do we have next. The next thing says restrict the communication of PC2 and PC0 with the network 192.168.1.0/26. So we have to restrict the communication coming from PC0 and PC2 with this particular network. So in this case we'll be using ACL, or being specific, we'll be using a standard ACL here on router number 1, and we'll apply it on FA1/0 for the outside, for the outbound packets. So let's configure the same. I'll say access list 10 deny. Now put the IP address of PC0. So let's check first of all what it is. So PC0 is configured with 192.168.2.2. So I'll say deny host 192.168.2.2. Let me check. Yeah, that's all. Then similarly, I'll say deny host, and we'll put the IP address of PC number 2 as it is asked in the assignment. So PC2 has the IP 192.168.3.3. So I'll also say that deny 3.3, then access list 10 permit any to accept the communication from the rest of the devices. Now we have created the ACL. Now we have to apply it on the interface FA1/0. So I'll say interface FA1/0, and if I say IP access group 10 for the outbound packets, let's see if after this we are able to communicate with the devices or not. So I'll go back to the PC2 again, where we tried making the communication with 192.168.1.2, and since we got the reply, that means the communication was successful. Now let's try it again after the application of ACL and see if we get the reply or not. There you go. So it says reply from 13.10.1.1, which is your gateway, and it says destination host unreachable. So that means the communication is getting failed since we have a ACL applied there. Then similarly, 13.10.1.1 wasn't the gateway of PC2, it was the IP of R1. So basically we are getting the reply from the R1 that we cannot make this communication successful. Similarly, if I go to PC0 and try to ping 192.168.1.2 from here, we will not get the reply. See, that means ACL is working, right? But if I try to ping, let's say 2.2 or 3.2, the communication is getting successful. That means we were able to configure ACL in a way that only PC0 and PC2 are not able to communicate with 1.0, but the rest of the communication is being successful. Even if I try to ping from PC1 to the network 192.168.1.0, if I say 192.168.1.1, then also I am able to get the reply. So the ACL, the OSPF configs, the DHCP configs, everything is working fine, and I can assume that I have done the assignment correctly and it is ready to be submitted, so that I can be a participant of the giveaway competition. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and got to learn out of it. If you liked the video, make sure you click the like button, and if you want to participate in such giveaways, or let's say just want to do the assignments to brush upon your skills, you can join the group from the link given in the description. Take care, bye bye.